Adobe has just added Nano Banana and Flux Kontext to their generative fill tool in the Photoshop beta. In my opinion, this is the most game-changing thing Adobe has added to Photoshop in years, and mostly because it works like magic. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to use the tool, how to install it, and some pros and cons of each models, because I was actually super surprised about which was performing better. So let's get right into it. The first thing you'll need is a Creative Cloud Pro account, and this will give you unlimited access to the generative AI tokens. To launch it, first you need to go to apps and make sure you're using the beta version of Photoshop. At the time of this recording, it's only in the beta, okay? So don't use regular Photoshop, don't use the blue one, use the white one. Once you do that, install it, you'll see it. So now let's swing over to Photoshop, and you'll see now that I'm in Photoshop, it doesn't look like anything's different until I select something. So I hit Control A on my keyboard, and you'll see right down here that there's a generative fill button. Once I click this, this is going to give you access to the partner models, okay? The partner models being Flux Kontext Pro and Gemini 2.5, also known as Nano Banana. You still have the existing Firefly models, but let's be honest, they're not as good as this. So what you want to do is click one of them. I'm going to start with Nano Banana, and I'm going to prompt what I want. So let's say I want a golden hour lighting, and I'm going to hit generate. And again, my selection is for the whole canvas in this example. You can do smaller selections, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but I want you to see how long it takes for you to completely transform an image. This is about less than 15 seconds, and the results are pretty crazy for what it can do in that time. So as you can see, we've got that golden hour, we've got the beautiful lighting, and it's basically touched everything. The one downside, if you've used Nano Banana in Photoshop in the past, is what we've been calling this little pixel shift. You see what's happening? This little jiggle? It does not matter which tool you're using or plugin you're using for Nano Banana, this is related to the model. It's a little frustrating because it does move everything over. The other thing to watch out for is just the resolution. I'm going to zoom in a little bit right around here, and let's toggle this on and off. So you see how you definitely take a hit. You know, this image is about almost 2K, and what's happening is you've got 1 megapixel that's being draped across the whole image. So that's why it's going to look blurry on these full image edits. But let's say you want to do a smaller area. What does that look like? So let's say I want to revise this little entry. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to select out this box area, go to generative fill, and I'm going to say change bricks to painted white. And again, this is using Nano Banana, and we'll also do a comparison to Kontext in just a moment. And there you go. It did a fantastic job, but if you pay attention, there's a little bit of distortion. That's that pixel shift I was talking about before. So it's kind of a bummer that this is happening because it kind of makes it unusable in a way. So this is what I found. If you pay attention over here, you can actually keep track of all your variation history and change models. So if I go here, I can just do this, switch to Flux Kontext Pro. I could do the same thing here, comes out to the same thing. And if I hit generate, it's going to look at this and use another model. And let's see how this does. I'll turn this back on, and you could see it did a pretty phenomenal job, except it did tint the image slightly. So if you can't see that, let me do a little zoom. Pay attention to this corner. See how it's tinting it? So it's not 100% perfect, but you don't need to deal with that silly pixel shift thing. In my opinion, Flux Kontext Pro is nearly as good as Nano Banana. I think generally Nano is probably a little bit better if you're using it through like Google AI Studio. In this context though, no pun intended, it does a really good job preserving the dimensions. It's not doing that weird pixel shift thing because in my opinion, that makes it unusable. So here's another situation that I found a Nano to kind of struggle with. Pay attention to my selection. You see how it's very slender, like the chimney? So watch this. If I say paint the chimney white, and let me switch it to Nano, you're gonna see a little bug that happens. And again, this is not Adobe's fault. This, in my opinion, is probably related to Google's training set. Maybe a lot of the images were square and it just can't handle these rectilinear selections. So watch what happened. You see that pixel shift again? So it's like it transformed it, transformed meaning like pulling up and down. So it kind of breaks the roof line, it breaks this, and that's not great. So what I could do is I could switch over to Flux Kontext and let's do the same exact thing. I'm gonna hit generate here. And as you can see, it did a perfect job. You know, it didn't paint the bricks here, but that could be another selection. But it did do a slight little tint. You see that right there? Let me zoom in just to make it a little bit easier. So this is a little bit lighter than this, which seems to be a little bit darker. But again, it did a good job painting it. So overall, what we're seeing is Kontext seems to do a really good job respecting the original image regardless of your selection size. Because I feel like if you're not paying attention, you're just gonna, select the thing that needs to be changed and send it off. You're not going to think about, oh, is this square enough? So we'll do one more test on the exterior and then we'll move to the interior. So another thing you need to pay attention to is just based on how big your selection box is. So let's say I select this area and I say I want flowers and landscaping. And this is true for both models that I found. You need to be a little bit cautious about how much space you give it, but you also need to balance the amount of resolution loss. The smaller the window, the more high quality it'll be. The wider or larger the image, the less high quality it will be. Here you can see that this is kind of like completely off. Sometimes I've noticed this with Kontext where it just generates something kind of related, but kind of not. But if I switch to Gemini and try this, it's going to do a good job about placing it in there, but it usually gets cut off because of the selection size. So it's not perfect. I feel like these tools need to mature better. This is like, again, beta, super, super early. But you can see based on my selection window, it's getting cropped here. And that's really annoying. I wish it was a little bit more respectful of the boundary and it knew, hey, if I'm out of space, I'm just gonna kind of blend in there. Because right now this is super harsh and like I can't use this. So just pointing out all these different issues because it's good and bad. If you're having a lot of fun with Nano Banana and you need some extra guidance, I actually wrote a free prompt guide. I have a link in the description below. Basically break down the strategy of how you should be prompting, and I give you a lot of use cases as well as examples of before and afters. So be sure to check that out. Again, totally free, link in the description, and let's get back to the video. So now moving to the inside, the interior, I was having a lot of fun with this. So let's do a little comparison of changing this countertop to be gray. We'll do it in Nano and then we'll do it in Kontext. So let's say generative fill and let's say change countertop to dark gray. And we're just saying dark gray marble just so it sticks out. There's a lot of white here. So we'll be able to easily tell, what was existing versus new. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job with the marble, but how did it do with the pixel shift? You see that? You see that line right there? So it's frustrating because it looks so good, but it's not usable unless I spend some time tweaking it. So it's a little bit of a balance. Let's try it with Kontext now. And there we go. We got a darker option and we don't have that pixel shift. It did add some weird line here, but that's something you could easily remove. And again, you do have your variation history and it will tell you what you did in each. You can also use this little arrow right here. So very, very handy if you want to do variations. So again, love that. Let's try a test on the wall now. So I want to change this wall instead of being a white subway tile. Let's do a dark gray. And I'm using this because there's so many different things that need to be masked. If that makes sense, to do this manually, it'd be kind of a pain in the butt. So let's say change to dark gray subway tile, and we'll send that off. And again, this is Kontext. But here it got a little weird. It got super dark and it gave us the pixel shift, which isn't great. So now let's try banana and see what that does. It's almost like it thought I wanted it to be nighttime. You see how it turned the light on and it gave us this like moody lighting. So that's interesting that it did that instead of just changing the tile. And then here, Nano just tackled the wall here instead of the whole area. So you can see they're not perfect. And the funny thing is they could do the heavy lifting easily, right? Like masking this, adding the reflections, that looks all gorgeous and perfect. It's just these little things about the pixel shift kind of really mess it up for you because it's not usable, right? So now let's try just changing the overall lighting because it seemed like Kontext wanted it to be nighttime. So let's give it a shot at that. So change to nighttime scene, warm ambient lighting. So this, yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. It did darken everything, right? It's got the ambient lighting. I mean, that's just crazy. It'll do a little toggle and we're not seeing any of that pixel shifting. So that's great. So now let's try Gemini or Nano Banana and we'll send that off. And there we go. So Nano is a little bit more of like what I was hoping for. I'd probably go a little bit darker, but interesting to see. It added some lighting here. Did make it a little bit darker. So it's kind of funny to see how each of them interpreted it. Kontext went full dark. Nano went, an hour in the future. But anyways, hope you guys like this video. Wanted to do a little bit of a comparison of these new tools because I know we've all been excited about Nano Banana, and it's great that Adobe has added it into Photoshop. I just think it's still a little early. I think it could be fantastic, and I really do feel like it's magic. It feels like those old Photoshop ads where you select something and then it just like does it automatically. It really does feel like that, but the pixel shifting does make it a little bit unusable. But I do like how Kontext was able to kind of be like a backup there. So I do recommend testing with both. Use the variations that we talked about here. That way you could test and see what makes the most sense. And again, it's unlimited tokens right now, so go ahead and have fun. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Which model do you think you'll be using the most in Photoshop? So if you haven't yet, make sure you download the free PDF prompting guide for Nano Banana. And as always, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. See you next time.